I think a lot of people are far too comfortable with being burdens on other people. Burdens on their friends, burdens on their family members, and burdens on the greater community at large. Now, of course, if you are in a serious predicament, if you are in dire straits, reach out to someone. Hopefully, you're in a place where the community around you will step up. Hopefully, you have friends that are willing to take some of that load on their shoulders. Hopefully, your family will do the same. Because as an individual, I believe that is one of the things we're here to do. We're here to take on the burdens of other people. We're here to bear the load of other people's anxieties, other people's worries, other people's fears and doubts, and alchemically channel them through us into new creation, new life, new understanding, growth, and moving beyond those base fears, those base level problems, those things that really bother us, that really bug us, that really pick at us, those things that really make us feel like life is hopeless and worthless. I believe that's what we're here to do. And if you're not around those people, find those people. Whatever you need to do, find those people, even if it's 1, 2, or 3 individuals. Those 1, 2, or 3 individuals can make all the difference. But what I see a lot as an Uber driver who interacts with people from all backgrounds, people of all races, colors, creeds, people who believe in all sorts of ideologies, who have all sorts of stances on life. I see that a lot of people are far too quick with defaulting into a state of being a burden. They're not even willing to try and solve their problems on their own. They're not even willing to try and carry the load without expressing their frustrations, without venting their emotions. They're not even willing to try and be a bit stoic, to be a bit resilient, to be a bit determined. They're not even willing to try. And it's a real shame because not only does this place unnecessary burden on people, which causes them to feel stressed out, which causes them to feel overloaded, which causes them to feel like they cannot continue on in the state they're in. There's a concept in chess that is very prevalent here. If you have one piece guarding 2 pieces, say a queen is guarding a rook and a knight, or a queen is guarding a rook and a bishop, or a knight and a bishop. If you attack that queen, then that queen has to move because it's the most valuable piece on the board. If that piece has to move, now one of the other pieces is hanging. You see how in day-to-day life, this can occur when people place unnecessary burdens, burdens that could be handled on the level of the individual, but are not handled on the level of the individual because that individual automatically defaults to placing their burdens on other people. These light burdens, these burdens that stack up over time. This anxiety and this fear and this worry and this doubt. Straw after straw after straw on the back of a camel who is incredibly strong, but no matter what, is inevitably going to cave under the weight of more and more pressure from friends, family members, and loved ones who are unwilling to not be a burden, even if it's for one day, even if it's for 1 hour. A lot of people would do a lot of other people good if they were willing to be a bit more determined, a bit more reliant on their own resources, their own capabilities. Now, of course, people are in various states within life. A lot of people have been beaten down so long that to even find that tiny bit of resolve can be akin to climbing Mount Everest, to scaling a grand mountain, to going over the Apennines. It can be quite a feat. So what I'm not asking is for people to do something simple, something easy. I'm asking these people to do quite a lot because for them, even so much as bearing the weight of their responsibility and their burdens for an hour or 4 hours or a day or a week, that's a lot. That's a tall task. So I'm asking them to do something that is Herculean from their viewpoint, from their stance. But not only would it help the people around them, but it would help themselves. Because even if that 1 hour is all you can do and then you melt down. That's way better than melting down immediately. That's something you can build upon. And this is what Jordan Peterson has talked about in many lectures. It's one of the ideas I know he's gotten correct. He has ideas that are a little bit murky, a little bit cloudy, but this is certainly one of the ideas that he hit right on the head. It's the idea that you need to expose yourself slowly. And it's not his idea, of course. It's just exposure therapy. It's the idea that if you have somebody who is scared of getting on elevators, you don't just throw them on an elevator. You certainly don't put them in the Tower of Doom, though I love that shit. They're not going to love it. They are going to quite literally combust in real time. You don't do that to them. No. You have them look at a picture of an elevator and you get them comfortable with that. Then perhaps you let them hear the sound of an elevator from a far off distance. Then maybe you have them see an elevator from outside of a tall building, something like the Trump downtown here in Chicago. Then maybe you have them get within 50 feet of the elevator, and then 25 feet, and then 10 feet, and then all of a sudden they touch it, and then they step inside, but then they come back out, and then finally they get in, but they don't ride it, and then eventually they're able to ride the elevator 1 floor, 2 floors, 3 floors, etc., until eventually riding an elevator is nothing. This is the same thing that people who are automatically placing their burdens on other people could do. It's exposure therapy. Instead of immediately caving, or caving within an hour, or caving within a day or a week, you simply increase that gradually over time. It's just like with lifting weights. If you're doing a 70-pound bench press with 70-pound dumbbells, 1 in each hand, and you do that for 5 reps, next week you do it for 6. And maybe you don't get 6. Maybe you get 5.5. Great, progress. Maybe you get 5, but the form is better. Great, progress. Maybe you get 5, but the form is the same. Okay, but you showed up. That's progress. You can measure it down to the tiniest detail, to the tiniest bit of improvement. And so long as you stay with that over time, you get better. You become more resilient. You become more determined until you wake up 3, 5, 7, 10 years in the future, and you think to yourself, how was I ever the person who automatically went to other people with the tiniest concerns, with such trivial matters, somebody who melted down so quickly? How could I be that individual? Because again, if you have a serious problem, call somebody. If you're in dire straits, call somebody. If you need a loan from a trusted friend or a family member because you're not going to make the rent, call them. Let them know, hey, I need it. I will pay you back. I'll do anything. Trust me, I do not want to see this relationship falter. I got you. Do whatever you need to do. Rely on the church. Rely on a local organization. Rely on anything you can if you need that help. But gauge the level of your burden properly. Understand if it's a trivial matter or if it's something that is truly catastrophic. And again, if you're in a state where you're not used to handling things on your own, you're not used to being resilient, you're not used to being determined, it's going to feel like a Herculean matter to deal with something that is objectively trivial. And for that, you deserve applause for dealing with it, no doubt, because we need to start from where you're at. And if you can simply understand that to other people, this is objectively trivial and that you can make it trivial without chastising yourself, without saying, oh, why am I so bad? Why am I so weak? Without any of those labels, without any of those words, any of that ill-fitted language to your situation, you can slowly but surely build up this resilience, this comfortability with dealing with burden. And I know this has helped me so much in my life because whenever I was 15, 16, I was not very good at dealing with the things in my head. I turned to rap, I turned to art, and I did so at a frantic pace because if I didn't write things down on the page, I simply would feel like my world was caving in on me. But over the past 11, 12 years now, can't believe it's been 11 or 12 years, my word, I have gradually, every single day, built up more and more resilience, more and more determination, more and more of an ability to weather storms, to deal with the trivial, to, quite frankly, handle situations that I never thought I would be placed in with a lot of aplomb, at least in my eyes. Perhaps other people wouldn't think so. But that's the great part about life, is that You are the judge, you are the jury, you are the executioner. Only you know if you are meeting your standard. Only you know if you are truly living exceptionally. Only you know if you've handled situations properly and with a grace that only stage actors and playwrights could possibly imagine. Only you know. And everybody else can have their ideas, but only you know what is true at the end of the day, because you are the consciousness, you are the subjective reality that you are dealing with. So with that, I say, let me know what you think in the comments. I believe I've addressed this fairly thoroughly because I wanted to hit it from multiple angles. And just to cap it off, remember, this is all nuanced. Everything is not hard and fast. It's situation by situation. It's person by person. This is just something I've noticed in a lot of people that are expressing themselves way too quickly, with a lot of vehemence, with a lot of emotion, are unable to control their tongue, unable to control their ability to deal with things on their own. And again, it's not a hard and fast rule. It's just something I've noticed. So let me know in the comments what you think about this, and I'll see you in the next video. Much love. Peace. This is New Da Vinci.